The U.S. President Donald Trump has said that things are working out very well with Iran right now.
He also reiterates that all options remain on the table if Iran does not comply with the agreement. Listen to this.
If Iran doesn't live up to their agreement, or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do.
Does that give them leverage over you, Mr. President?
Say it?
Does that give them leverage, the Iranians leverage over you?
Oh, you're so leverage.
The United States has suspended sanctions on Iranian oil as Trump has cleared that Iran will agree to have weapon inspections to ensure nuclear honesty long into the future, echoing comments made by his Vice President J.D. Vance.
This is probably what we're most excited about as Americans. The Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran.
Well, Iran was quick to respond to this, with its foreign ministry saying that Tehran had made no new commitments on nuclear inspections. Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai maintained that any engagement with UN inspectors would take place under existing procedures set by Parliament and the Supreme National Security Council. While leaving Switzerland, when asked about the negotiations, Vance, the US Vice President, said that Iranian officials can be confusing sometimes. He, however, struck an optimistic tone, saying that the talks had laid a good foundation for a final peace deal.
This is laying a foundation for what could be a truly transformed Middle East. But we haven't built the house yet. We're going to have to keep on building, and that's what we'll do.
Tehran and Washington signed a memorandum of understanding last week. It laid the groundwork for Switzerland negotiations after nearly 40 days of fighting that were followed by a shaky ceasefire.
Mediators Pakistan and Qatar said that the US and Iranian negotiators reached an agreement on a roadmap towards reaching a final deal within 60 days, after the first round of talks on Sunday, with technical talks to continue for the rest of the week at the Swiss resort.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, meanwhile, is due to start a trip to the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Bahrain. His spokesperson said it is to discuss the deal and efforts to secure full and free safe transit through the Strait of Hormuz.
Now, Iran's chief negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, their parliament speaker, has said that the strait will never return to its pre-war conditions and will be administered by the Islamic Republic in accordance with the international law. Tracking data on Monday showed vessels were still transiting the strait, despite Iran saying on Saturday that it had closed the Strait of Hormuz again over Israeli attacks in Lebanon.
In the weeks and days before the U.S.-Iran talks, the war in Lebanon between Israel and Iran's close ally Hezbollah threatened to derail the ceasefire, though the country has been relatively calm since Saturday evening.
Ghalibaf, while speaking to reporters, said that talks will only be successful if Lebanon's territorial integrity is secured. Now, the remarks come as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has declared that Israeli forces have been granted full freedom of action to thwart any direct or developing threat to them or the residents in Israel to the north. And there's more on this from our U.S. correspondent Susan Teherani, who sends us this report from New York.
President Trump says that Iran is prepared to allow major UN inspection of its nuclear facilities, a key demand of the United States as negotiations move into a new phase. But Tehran is disputing that claim, saying that no commitment has been made regarding inspections or otherwise. Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance talks of progress being made after nearly 9 hours of talks in Switzerland, stressing that any sanctions relief or release of frozen Iranian funds will ultimately depend on continued Iranian compliance. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is planning to travel to the Gulf region to consult with U.S. partners and build support for this ongoing diplomatic effort. So the focus now shifts to technical negotiations and inspections, sanctions relief, as well as verification, with the administration hoping to turn this temporary agreement into a broader agreement in the weeks and possibly months ahead. Susan Tahrani reporting from New York for WION World as well.